all about website security. So let's quickly talk about what's going to be in this lesson. First of all, we're going to talk to you about why security is important. Then we're going to explain what makes your site vulnerable. We're going to go through some examples of website hacks that we've seen, and then we're going to end on what you can do about it. Okay, number one, why is it important? Your website is the face of your business. When it gets hacked, not only does it hurt your reputation, it can also hurt your lead generation. And if you don't know that your website has been hacked, eventually Google will figure it out. It can hurt your SEO, and ultimately Google can block your website from showing up at all because it has identified it as a risk to people who might visit it. So it's a reputation issue, it's a lead gen issue, and it's an SEO issue, and you could just lose your spot on the internet if you leave it hacked too long. Number two, what makes your site vulnerable? All of our clients' websites run on software called WordPress. We are not alone in building and managing WordPress websites, and in fact, WordPress powers 43% of all of the websites online. That's over 35 million websites. So the fact that it's so popular is one of the things that makes it such a good target for hackers. Because if hackers can figure out something that will exploit a vulnerability in WordPress, then they've got access to about 35 million websites. We're assuming that your website is on WordPress, and chances are it probably is. But we work on WordPress, so let's talk about what makes WordPress vulnerable. WordPress itself is software. So if you let the core WordPress software get out of date, that can make your website your website vulnerable. One of the things that makes WordPress great is that there's so many plugins that can quickly add functionality to your website and help you integrate your website with other pieces of software. But if you let those plugins get outdated, or if you install compromised plugins, it creates a weak backdoor to your website. And then the last thing that makes your website vulnerable is just weak passwords. So if a hacker's bot can crawl 35 million websites and knows where to look for the login and just uses password 123 and as the password and admin as the username, they're going to get in. Okay, so let's now talk about some of the examples that we've seen with WordPress sites and, getting hacked. We've either seen them, we've experienced them, our clients have brought these problems to us, we've had to fight them, we've had to protect against them. It's just the world we live in. So the first example is, it's called SEO spam or spam dexing. So what will happen is a hacker will get access to your site, and then they will use that access to publish hundreds or thousands of blog posts that have nonsense SEO on them. And it's an attempt to create backlinks to their own websites to promote their own websites for nefarious reasons. Okay, the second example that we can go over is called a redirect hack. In this example, someone gets into your website and they put software in it so that when visitors try to go to www.yourcompany.com, they are immediately redirected to a completely different website. So that's called a redirect hack. We've actually never seen this cryptojacking hack, but it is something that we're aware of. So what happens here is hackers will install software on websites in order to exploit the PC computing power of the host, of the hosting company, the hosting machine, so that they can mine cryptocurrency using other people's resources. The next example is the Japanese character hack. We actually saw this one within the last 60 days. This was a new client that came to us, and while we were in the discussions about, onboarding them as a new client, their website got hacked. And when you searched on that company's name, instead of the company coming up, it was just a bunch of Japanese characters. I'll be honest, I still don't understand what the hackers get out of this hack, but it was a pain in the butt and we had to fix it. Okay, the last example that we have in this lesson is a hack called clickjacking. This one is actually pretty scary and pretty hard to detect. What hackers do is they gain access to your website, they leave it looking the way it should look, and they will take a button or a link that's on your website that's supposed to do something innocent, like go to another page or let someone fill out a contact you form, and they hijack the button or the link so that when users click it, they're actually downloading malware to their computers or they're being redirected to something. So, from your perspective, you could look at your website and think it all looks great, but there could be clickjacking software installed. With some of these others, like the SEO spam, you'll know it when it happens. With the redirect hack, you will certainly know it when it happens. Cryptojacking, we've never actually seen. I assume you'd know it when it happens. The Japanese character hack, 100%. You will notice if your website shows up in search results in Japanese. And then clickjacking, we haven't seen happen, but we are aware of it and we are looking out for it. So what can you do about it? Again, assuming that your website is run on WordPress, which is most of the prospects that we've ever talked to and all of our clients, the number one thing that you can do is maintain your core WordPress software. Keep that the most recent version up to date. Also maintain all of your plugins. And then lastly, and this is what we do, we install security monitoring software. We've got a couple of different ones that we really like. WordFence is something that we use. We've used Sucuri with a number of sites. We also have a vendor that we pay as part of our agency, and we install and configure security monitoring on all of our clients' websites. And their sites are being scanned 24 hours a day. When something comes up, then we can refer that issue to our vendor that has specialized staff that can respond and react and remove the malware within the same business day. So there's lots of options out there for you to be proactive in terms of keeping your software updated and putting steps in place to monitor your website against hacking and malware. And even if you're monitoring it, it could still happen. But if you've got a good partner in place, then you've already got the resources allocated who can respond quickly. So let's wrap this video up and get to your homework. What can you do at the end of this video? Download the security checklist that is attached to this lesson and review it with either your staff member or your website vendor. Whoever the person or people are that manage your website, just reach out to them and make sure that you are having a conversation to say that you are aware that there are vulnerabilities, you are aware of the risks, and you need to know what the people you've put in charge of your website, what are they doing to protect your interests? So download this checklist, fill it out, and you should be able to have a really healthy conversation with the folks that you've put in charge of your website. Okay, what is the next lesson? Next lesson is going to be all about what does it mean for your website to be mobile friendly. This is also called mobile responsiveness, and it is really critical to both your SEO and your home improvement lead generation.